Okay. Looking good, looking good. Looks like we're live. Hello everyone, Nerui here. And it's stream time once again. Wally, today has been... It's been cold. Very, very cold. Even now, the wind is blowing really hard. The windows are rattling, and I'm just doing everything I can to keep warm, while I go and do my best to bring a nice, entertaining stream for everyone here to watch. Yay. I suppose one plus side of it being cold is that your water to drink is always nice and cold, even without having any ice on hand. Well, tonight I will do my best to carry on with the stream, and Carl with the bits already. And Cap there in chat. No worries. Hopefully I'll see you later in the stream. But tonight should very well be the penultimate stream for Dead Space 2. I should have about 6 chapters left in the game, and I'm going to go try and get 3 done tonight. When last we left off, we had a little bonus stream because last Sunday the BioShock stream ended up wrapping up a bit faster than I anticipated, and since we still had a fair bit of time left, it was suggested and I went through with doing a little bit extra Dead Space 2 with an additional chapter of getting the chapter I left off on last time done, which ended on the one spot that Orsk wanted me to see. They ended up having to... Well, this guy was a troll, but they put me back on the Ishimura. After all the hell I went through on that ship, trying to get off that ship, I'm now back on it again. So, now, I'm going to be exploring the Ishimura again, and trying to find some way to use it to get access to the government sector of the space station. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Boy. It's still kind of strange thinking that I managed to get to the point where I'm getting close to wrapping up Dead Space 2. Because I've said before, and I'll probably say it again, that historically, I am not really good with horror, just horror games, just horror in general. And, well, the fact that I ventured out of my comfort zone and started playing a horror game here on stream, it's interesting that I've managed to make it to this point. And which could make things potentially a smidgen worse, is that for this time around, at least at the moment, I'm in here completely by myself. Just like I was when I first came on the Ishimura, or at least for a while when I first came on the Ishimura.
Boop.
Yeah. And there's an Orsk. I'm no longer alone.
Bugs.
And of course, they're trying to get me with just non-lethal jump scares, just environmental things, just to spook me.
Oh yeah, they're trying to mess with you.
Go on. This is Hedrick. You really don't hear anything when you're cleaning these bathrooms? Every shift, I swear, I hear something in the walls like a scratching noise. When I stop moving, it stops. When I move again, it waits a bit, then comes back. Today, it followed me around right under my feet like it was stalking me. I can't take this, man. The ship is cursed. It is a bad omen that it's here. I'm putting in for a transfer. You should too.
Buddy, asking a transfer off the Ishimura is probably one of the best things you could possibly do. Don't know if you were granted it, but I hope you were, so you can get the hell out of here before things went to hell. Here again.
Gravity and life support on reserve power. Primary systems offline. Main centrifuge offline for repairs.
Damn it. That's what I thought.
What?
The gravity centrifuge is under repair. I'm gonna have to go down to engineering. This should be interesting.
Is it safe?
I don't know how it could be. I'll let you know.
There's that sense of dread I had the first time I came back when I came here the first time.
Oh yes.
Shut up, wifey. What fresh old hell lies before me now? Got 2 notes to play with, so I'll get the last damage boost with the pulse rifle. Excellent. Now, just need to get the 2 reloads so that I can dump everything into the alt fire. Why is it that that for the first time in a while I'm feeling a good bit of dread, and it's just because I'm back here again?
Yep, back where it all began.
Hey, the fun has begun!
Hello.
Welcome, sus one. Welcome, nickname.
We are here to support our friends.
That did leave around a good stopping point in our little marathon. And yes, that marathon is basically where 2 of the rules came from. And I'm not sorry, MT is doing a heckin' concern right now. Is there a heckin' concern or a concern?
Concerned with probably work for Heka. And the rabbit's foot thing.
Oh yes! Satoshi's not allowed to
That came from me watching Ivana play The Long Dark. Welcome back home.
Home implies comfort.
Home is where the heart is, and I assume your heart's been here before. And there, and a bit everywhere in that area.
I got lost last night when the lights went out, and I fell down the ramp. I think, or someone tripped me. I'm all bruised on my left side, and my ankle is swollen. Are you sure you guys aren't down here? I hear something near my locker. Screw this! I'm heading up. I'm never coming back here again.
Probably the biggest thing that's bringing concern is the fact that nothing has attacked me yet. Just the whispers, the voices in my head.
Don't you love the voices in my head?
There it is! Chargy McGee! Yay!
Oh yeah, you're surrounded. Oh, I see it there.
Oh, look at them. It's completely glowing.
Oh no, you shot the ballet. Yep, you'd never want to pop that ballet.
Hmm.
Nay, an interesting thing when it comes to those big charging guys is when you can stun them, the Ripper can do some good work on them.
Shoot him in the dick.
Oh, no, there's the ballet. Shit, hey, that definitely left a mark.
Yeah.
So I think you left some loot back there.
Kind of hard to focus on looting when you've got company.
Mm-hmm. No worries.
I didn't think the Ishimura would still be around.
Well, it was salvaged, and that's sort of where some stuff happened after the first event. Because an actual salvage team came across it and began to work on it.
Not knowing what they were getting themselves into.
No, because they also ran smack dab into one of the secret subsects of the cult, and they're super soldiers.
Yay, cult.
Yeah, you get to see two of those if you're able to get your hands on the DLC for this game.
Whether or not we get to see that will determine what after we finish this, whether or not this is a version that has that DLC.
I don't think it is because I think you're stuck with just a PC version of it, even though it is the Microsoft Store you got it off of, or well, the cross-platform stuff.
Yep, Game Pass.
Oh,
It's still
so
silly that they didn't release the DLC onto any other system but the Xbox.
Well, no, they had it for the Xbox and I think also the PlayStation. I said it was only for the console ones that they actually put it out for.
What's the purpose, though?
No clue, because honestly, I mean, that DLC doesn't really go anywhere per se. Like, I misremembered, like I said, the guy that's into it is not actually the guy that you're fighting alongside in the third game. Because it's going off of a. That's a long story what that DLC one is.
I mean, if I wasn't jaded, I would think that they probably just did it on purpose. So it's like, oh, if you want to play this DLC, we're sorry, you're gonna have to go out and buy a console, and our game on the console would do it.
I mean, it might have made the DLC might have made sense if we ever actually got Dead Space 4, like we were supposed to originally do, but sadly, Dead Space 4 never actually happened.
Okay, no, Ellie, it isn't safe. But I'm on my way to the centrifuge.
Just be careful.
And the creators have said a few things onto it. They never actually came out to say what what all the aspects of the story would have been, but they gave some interesting little like synopses for it. But I'll be right back.
Warning. The engineering deck has not completed final cleanup and decontamination.
So in other words, engineering deck still has all kind of death gunk.
Oof.
Thank goodness for a store. Sell the diamond semiconductor. That's some big bucks right there. Sell the contact energy. Okay. Let's buy medium and 4 smalls. Use one of those smalls to top off. Save. I've got the 70,000 credits, so it's a question of, again, how much will I need? Because yeah, the regular vintage suit gives a discount at the store of 10%. So definitely want to put that on before it's time to purchase the next and probably final suit upgrade. But I need to wait for that next suit upgrade to be available so I can get the inventory the maximum inventory slots. Right. Okay. Naughty log.
Dr. Heidi Latchford, Research Summary Organic Material Analysis. There are several shocking findings relating to the sludge-like material found throughout the Ishimura. First, it is human DNA.
I'm back.
Second, and far more disturbing, it reanimates in the presence of a marker signal. The only conclusion we can come to is that the entire Ishimura crew was infected and reconstructed and then fell into a soupy DNA sludge when the Aegis 7 marker was destroyed.
Oh, I remember this place.
Oh, yes.
Oh, look, another workbench. One reload. One save for a loot room.
Decontamination initializing.
Great.
Is that the security section of Ishimura?
Okay, here we go. So on Dead Space 4, they gave ideas were thrown around, and they had a very fine idea of what the actual thing would be too. Well, they knew how the game would end. They refused to give the ending away. Right back.
Ow! No, you don't, baby. Save me!
Oh, so how is Saints Row catching up?
Oh, great. I especially remember this area. It's so squelchy.
Words?
And they are giving me an awful lot of healing items.
I'm back after being rudely interrupted.
Welcome back to
I sure do love to sneak up behind you.
Well, hello there.
Okay, so as I was saying, in case they ever did return to the franchise, the guys that did story team for it now, they gave a very interesting hint on what the fourth one would have been. I don't want to give away the lore, but I will say that we spent a bit of time working out the origin of the necromorphs and what purpose humans held in this dark universe. Would the players find a way out of the necromorph apocalypse? I'd say yes, but they might be sorry they did. Sometimes you're better off with the devil you know.
Yeah, you know what?
I'm now starting to feel sad that this isn't a game that it came to be. That
Oh, yeah.
sounds amazing.
I mean, we might actually get it because, like I said, they remade the first one, so that feels to me like a nice build up to do the second, the third, and probably the fourth, because they already got the story of the fourth one ready and rearing to go. They just need to redo the games.
Which means there's a very realistic possibility I may end up playing this whole series again in the remakes.
Mayhaps. And the thing is, with the DLC Awakened for the third game, that was put together as a way of showing what would have happened if you'd failed it for the fourth game. So the DLC was meant as a way to give this timeline of events an actual endpoint. But who knows? One of these days, we might actually get to see it.
Fuck.
I mean, that'd probably be depending on how, if they can make it right. After all, people seem to be very thin-skinned with video games nowadays.
Fair, but I mean, like I said, they already got a cohesive narrative in play. I mean, as far as I heard, I haven't heard any changes to the actual story in the remake of the first one, so should just be redoing things and giving everything a nice polish to it.
I mean, I don't want to get I'm not going to get too much into it because I doubt we need to go down deeply in this stream, but I have become jaded to where if the phrase made for modern audiences are used, it goes in that direction of fame. In more cases than not. But that rabbit hole gets too political.
Look, I'm hoping we do get to see what 4 would have done. Because it sounds to me like they built off of some of the better points of the third game. Because it would have been you in a ship going around with the flotilla system in the third game. You're now, trying to get yourself a shock point drive. So going from infected ship to infected ship, getting to a space station, getting yourself a drive, and then going to different spots. You're now on your little crusade to stop the necromorphs. And ultimately, I'm guessing also the unitologists from succeeding.
If they are gonna make a remake of the whole series before doing, maybe they're using it as a chance to make the mechanics even better.
Oh, possibly.
I mean, looking at the little preview it did of the first game, just to show what everything was going to look like.
The damn cooling cores extended in pieces.
Yeah, it looks like they took mechanics from 2 and put it into 1.
Yep, which is the good thing because the second game was definitely the stronger of the first one. And out of them all, the third one was definitely the weakest with the core gaming aspect of it. But they did have some good elements. Don't get me wrong, but the third game has has a lot of criticism for basically being too action gamey. Think Resident Evil 6.
Okay, found schematics for Force Energy.
I mean,
Nice.
I get making things where it's like you're shooting, but I would think the whole point of the Dead Space is you're supposed to feel a horror based. You're
Yep.
supposed to feel on edge. If you got all these weapons and things, it is
they
very hard
don't play
balance.
things too far, especially when it came to say the ammunition system was completely redone in the third game. Because instead of it being each weapon had its own specialized ammunition type for it, it worked off of this universal ammunition setup.
Like
So
Mass
you were-
Effect.
Yeah, so each weapon would use X amount of the universal ammo. So when you see the ammo count for each weapon, it's going off of the total ammo count for it. So you don't get a true scale of just how much you're working with. And do you get what this puzzle's trying to do for you?
Yep.
That honestly sounds silly to have a system like that.
Yep.
I mean,
Because
technically, it
they-
did work well for Mass Effect. Although, I will admit, I was quite fond of the ammo system in Mass Effect 1. because basically infinite ammo. You only had to worry about maintaining
Yep.
the heat of your weapon.
Well, remember Mass Effect 2 and 3 to now, what you're using is technically not ammunition. What you're using is coolant clips.
Well, that and Mass Effect wasn't built to be a horror game.
Nope.
That kind
Was
of ammo system wouldn't work in a horror setting because what's to stop you to using from the best gun? Instead
yeah,
of like, oh shit, I'm out of ammo for this gun, I now have to use this one. And watch
exactly.
it dwindle.
Not only that, but with the way that they did things with the whole crafting system, and they basically took away half of your arsenal. Because in the third game, you're only able to have 2 weapons on you instead of the standard 4 in the first 2 games. But the thing is, you could sort of cannibalize and make your own Frankenstein guns in that game. So you'd have an upper and a lower tool on each weapon. So
Basically a Munchkin's dream of making the highest powerful weapon possible, taking the horror element out of it.
Oh, definitely. But the thing is, there was a lot of good stuff when it came to like the actual frames, because some of the frames in game now you can have some rather interesting effects. You can't actually see it from the normal gameplay screen, but if you look in like the background stuff for now, some of these frames give you like bonus stats for certain things. Like there are these 2 frames you can find throughout your little adventure in the game now that only have an upper tool. There's no lower tool mounting, but it gives you these innate bonuses based on the frame they are. So you can make a very powerful single weapon off of these guys.
It's like one of those passive bonuses, I'm guessing, if the frames do.
Yep, I like say the heavy frame one gives a very big bonus to the amount of ammo capacity it has. So if you stick that onto say like with the military engine and make say like a pulse rifle or something, you have a fuck ton of ammo you can store in the thing. So like I said, these specialized frames give you the ability to make these really unique weapons. But at the same time right now, it's kind of hard to recreate the original weapons that you know and love. Like at most you can make a facsimile of what you once had. But you can't truly recreate a lot of the old weapons.
That's the thing with mechanics. You always got those that work well, you got those that are rotten eggs.
Uh-huh.
It's really give or take, and you just work with what you got.
But an interesting thing they did enable for the third game is they have a classic mode where the game will only use the weapons that you know and love. I don't know what that does to the whole crafting system, or if that might be still in there, but in like a lesser extent, but it's an option worth looking into, but that does deprive us possibly from having access to the unique things for that game. Because there's a lot of weapons that they introduced in that wonder now that are like very unique. Because you're basing it off of, I think, 5 or 6 base items, so you can recreate like plasma weapons, like say the plasma cutter. But there's a bunch of other, based on what tooltip you attach to it, you get a different weapon out of it. Same thing with the military machine, which is the one that allows you to make all of the like solid projectile weapons. So like shotguns, the assault rifles, the pistols, and like that stuff here now. So you can make some really interesting weapons out of that. But it's all based on what tooltip you actually do attach to it.
How about for a proposal, since we're potentially looking at going through Dead Space 3 twice, once with me as Isaac, once with me as the other guy. With the Isaac one, we go through with the base mode, try all the new stuff. With the second run through, we go through with the classic mode.
Interesting idea. I'll have a look-see, though, into how the classic mode actually works.
Oh no, I was afraid this would happen! Fuck! Fuck, not you again!
Okay.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Oh, look, it's Tentacletron.
Stream
Don't
delay.
worry, it's,
Oh,
don't worry,
there.
it's just your PTSD now.
Fuck you, you
let me guess.
assholes!
It's grabbing down, dragging down the hall, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but it was only a memory. Well, technically a nightmare, but still.
I just wanted to hug.
And yes, this was one of the hallways where
Ellie,
you were
I've
being
got a sewer
dragged.
fuge online. I'm heading back towards the tram station.
Okay, I've almost got us disconnected from the mag rail.
But yeah, I actually have a look-see to see what the parameters is of the classic mode.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, you fucking assholes. And thank you for the bits, Carl. Fuck.
Supporting his girlfriend.
Decontamination initializing.
Hey, buddy, I know you're out there. Come on in. Got some dick shots ready and waiting for you.
Oh, ooh. Okay, it seems classic mode might lock out co-op a little bit.
Oh dear.
Because I'm on the wiki now, it says attention due to a dev design where you can't increase 1% capacity modes and some modes are behind co-op missions, and co-op is disabled here. So we might not, we'll try not to do it again. That is also saved, yes. In classic mode, weapon crafting is disabled. Player will only be able to build classic weapons from Dead Space and Dead Space 2 via blueprints. Co-op is also disabled. Yeah, okay.
In the dick!
Kind of
Shoot him in the dick!
I mean, you're not wrong. That would basically be going back to the past way of doing things.
It's a co-op, it sounds like something new, so yeah, it would make sense.
F off! What the
Yep.
heck?
So let's see. Co-op is also disabled, and the classic aiming is on by default. And ooh, the difficulty is locked in at hard for classic mode. That's icky.
Hurt doesn't sound that hard.
Oh shit. Oh, that's. Unfortunately, even though in previous games you were able to carry 4 weapons, in Dead Space 3's classic mode, you are only able to carry 2 weapons. Jesus, okay, that's a major nerf.
2 weapons on hard with classic.
Yeah. This might be an overlooked flaw since Dead Space 3's mechanics only allow players to carry 2 weapons, so players are forced to choose only the 2 most useful classic weapons to carry with them. Icky. So,
No
yeah.
great answer because all of them are niche and useful depending what your playstyle is.
I mean, at most, you can always go with the classic plasma cutter because that is the standard workhorse.
It'd be the plasma cutter and then the pulse rifle.
I mean, the pulse rifle is another good workhorse weapon. But the thing is, it basically would be like you going with the plasma cutter and then whatever you like as a second. But still, that is icky that it only lets you use 2 weapons even in the fast mode.
Shit!
And it's probably still using the same ammo system, so it doesn't go back to the classic ammo system.
Well, it sounds to me like the entire, it says here the entire, crafting setup is just outright disabled in that setup, so it's probably going back to the classic ammo style. But yeah, that is shitty. And yeah, and that's locked behind New Game Plus, so that's one of the New Game Plus ones.
Well, if it's doing all that, I guess it makes sense in another way because it's another challenge.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point behind New Game Plus. It does bring in a lot of challenge modes, and this one is supposed to unlock a very specific weapon you can make, and the epic tier 4 engineer achievement / trophy. So, like I said, it's for achievements in Electra now.
So not the casual players.
Nope. I mean, think about it. It's going to be locked into hard difficulty, and hard is pretty brutal, even in this game.
Isaac, Strauss is starting to worry me. Listen,
I would never. I would never.
I thought to
son,
take it something like
Daddy's
Fire
not a
Emblem in the
murderer.
New Game
I would
Plus.
never hurt
he's
you.
not real.
Indeed.
Yes, he is. You can't see him because you
So
haven't
yeah,
taken the
Nice, that's
steps,
probably
Strauss.
not an option for us.
The screwdriver, step
Unfortunately, it
3.
seems.
Oh well. I think we'll do okay with the crafting system, because it does give you a lot of nice versatility. So instead of it having to go through that whole web we have to do there now in the first 2 games when it came to like the power nodes, now it's you can upgrade whatever specific component you want as long as you have the resources to do it. So if you want to go in for a bunch of air, you can go in for a bunch of air.
Although, on the subject of upgrades, now have all the reload maxed out on the pulse rifle. It's just the alt fire left now.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
We just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more power nodes to fully upgrade the pulse rifle.
Ooh, shit, that is awesome.
You know, if we were talking about upgrades, I don't know. I mean, I think the power node system probably should have been something they kept.
Yeah, I sort of agree with you, but at the same time, now, when they were experimenting with the whole crafting system, now they came up with a new way to actually do the the loot rooms that you see in the first 2 games. They do them in a very different way in the 3rd game. Now, instead of them being power node rooms, they're based off of these tungsten torpedoes. So you're using a very limited resource, which is tungsten, which is not as plentiful as the other resources, to make these loot room things. Because the thing is, we're in the 3rd game, we do go to an area that's not as up to date as everywhere else we've been. So it sort of felt like a nicer way to handle what would have been like a lesser thing, because the area we're going to was an old colony. And this wasn't yesterday, this was a while ago. This place was around. So they might not have as advanced stuff as the whole, like, power node stuff. That might be a more recent thing here now.
But then again, I think I was more looking at a mechanical aspect, because the power node still gives the aspect of having to pick and choose.
Yep. Well, and this one now,
horror setting.
but in this one now, when it comes to the actual weapons for upgrading them, we're now using little circuit boards that we pick up. So these things will provide, like, the earlier ones will only give us, like, say, a +1 to 1 aspect of the weapon. But eventually we'll find a +1 and a +1, so it'll give a +1 in 2 different things. Or a +2 in 1 thing, or it could be, say, a +2 in 1 thing and a -1 in another. And, like, various things like that. And as we find newer and newer little circuits, we can actually make them ourselves with resources we scavenge up. So that's the whole point of the whole, like, scavenger bot system. You find these little resource nodes, you have your little scavenger bot go out and loot the place, and after a set amount of time, depending on what DLCs you got that time might be halved. And you would also be able to pick up a DLC that would actually double the amount of things it brings back for you.
So almost like how Fallout 4 did weapon customization in a sense.
Something like that, yeah. So initially, each weapon, like the upper and lower tool, will have 2 circuit slots available. But you can unlock newer ones now up to a max of 4 per tool on each frame you have. But the thing is, if you pick up things called elite frames, they're going to be frames that have all 8 of those slots unlocked for you. And since you came in with all of these DLC things, you're probably going to start off with all the DLCs for the third one too. Which means you can rip apart the ones you don't like and just make use of their frames to make the weapons you do like. So you're probably going to have a plethora of elite frames, both the heavy and the light frames.
So basically an advantage in a sense. From
Yes.
the get-go.
Oh, definitely. I said the elite frames are very nice like that. And when we play through again on a second playthrough now, we'll actually be getting better frames now, and better circuits and the like now, and better components. So when we're playing a new game plus now, we'll be having access to a lot more things that could crop up in the loot rows.
And I spent some of the saved up credits I have, still leaving me in the general range of where the next suit will be to buy some power nodes. The EarthGov pulse rifle is now fully upgraded.
Well, hot giggity damn. Well then, we're gonna have to make good use of that ult fire now.
Once I get more ammo for it, yes. I'm just completely out of ammo after that last room.
Nice.
So, what should I focus on next? More of the Ripper?
Probably the Ripper, I think.
Or the line gun?
Ooh, actually, yeah, the line gun probably needs the most love.
So...
If I recall, the line gun's the one that hits like AoE or more enemies per shot.
Oh, definitely. And we can upgrade it so it actually hits a wider area too.
yeah, I still use it mostly for the alt fire, though.
Oh yeah, we want to definitely go for those alt fire bonuses. So we can probably do that as the thing for this one, and now we go out and try to get all the alt ones.
So, that would be
Which...
starting with capacity, alt fire, with reload, then across to alt fire, up alt fire, then go up capacity to with alt fire, then across damage and duration, then go up for damage, over up alt fire, over damage, then damage and reload, and capacity. It's a Ripper. That I've got to work on damage and duration.
Nice. And we don't need to touch a single bit of ult fire for the Ripper.
Yep, because I never use it. Technically speaking, that makes the EarthGov pulse rifle the first weapon I fully upgraded.
Oh shit, it is, isn't it? Because we never did it in the first game for the plasma cutter.
Nope.
Well, sweet. Just means we should probably make more use of it now. At least to let us save up some more munitions for our plasma cutter.
Plasma cutter is the one I've got ammo for. It's the rifle that I'm out of ammo for.
Ah, okay, so use the plasma cutter for now so we can store up some munitions.
Yep.
So how does it feel being back on the Ishimura?
I don't think she does.
I don't blame her. The Ishimura leaves a lot to be desired. Making good use of the nut shots, aren't we?
Yep.
I'm happy to have given that kill. It's a good run. Especially with your plasma cutter, it works so well for it. And now I have a kitty with me.
Wow.
Got my little tabby cat with me there now.
What level suit is that?
This is the vintage suit. This is one of the old versions of the vintage suit.
The bastard bit me.
What?
It's got a nice design to it.
Are you okay?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I'm fine. But he stopped talking. He won't look
I mean,
at me.
I like the addition of the air canister on your back. It's a nice way of showing, like, how you're storing things.
Yeah, it kind of makes more sense, like, you have random air, okay? Where by keeping the air.
Unexpected obstruction ahead.
My pants.
Shutting down.
Yep, so this is basically, like, showing, like, where the suits came from. So this was probably, like, one of the first few suits out there now when they were making these things. So that's the reason why it looks so industrial in nature. Going back to an old topic, that's probably the best way to describe it.
I mean, I could see it. It looks like a Mach 1 design.
Probably, I wouldn't call it a prototype, but I definitely would call it, like, a production model, Mark 1.
Yeah, so I must thought you were
So
gonna say
probably a demo.
No, not a demo, but, like, an actual, like, production piece, so not a prototype.
To be honest, I thought you were gonna say production mom.
And of course, I can't get off the damn thing, this damn place that easy.
Nope. You're trying to reactivate a bunch of systems now that were turned off, so...
What the neon on rave party?
I mean, they of course had to get the black light to find where all the stuff that needs to be cleaned is still. So you're in this section of the map there now. You get to see some of the shit that you didn't see before. So, enjoying it is probably just gonna make your character's PTSD even worse. Especially with White Ooh, and a lot of enhanced slashers too.
Where was this in relation to the first game?
Are you talking about we're on the ship or where we're to at the moment?
Oh, on the Ishimaru, since you're basically the second game is going back through it.
Well, this is only one chapter we're actually touching on the Ishimura. Because we went on board at them because Tideman made use of the solar array that we turned back on to power up the public area after he went and shut off the power. So he used the solar array to sort of go solar beam and cut off the rail network between it and government sector.
Oh, I was just more like when I asked like where in the ship, I mean like where in the location of the ship.
Oh, I mean, I suppose we're down in parts of engineering we didn't get to before. Because I think you had to go down to engineering to turn on the centrifuge because you're trying to gain access to the gravity tethers once more. Because that's what you turned off in the first game? Or, well...
Great.
Actually, no,
This is where I fought that damn regenerator.
Oh yeah, this is where the first one was too. So, remember, Nay, how you dealt with that first one?
Yes, I remember. I remember well.
Well,
It was a bit of a chilly reception.
Yes, but remember, they did salvage the ship.
Oh no!
It got loose, didn't it?
They have it in storage, yes. I'm going to warn you like that, but that's in like the last 2 chapters. So so Nay, that's next stream. That's next stream, Nay, who has to deal with that.
That makes it any better?
Right now, probably.
You know, to be fair, I say the same thing to you. Oh, that's future Satoshi's problem.
I know, and future Satoshi curses on past Satoshi a fair bit.
Damn, past
Oh
me.
yes, future Satoshi is probably cursing, but once again, that's a future Satoshi's problem, not the present Satoshi.
Oh yes.
Just kicking the can down the road.
So yeah, so
I mean, you in general aren't the smartest, no offense. You know I'm gonna fuck with you every time I get a chance. You know I love you, baby.
That's the thing, just says
Yeah, debatable.
That they had to spit while I was holding on to a part from an exploder,
yeah.
and while he was in the blast radius too. So
Yeah, that's the thing they're not, because remember, the exploders are nice. They're not discriminate in their targets. As long as they get near you, they don't care if there's a bunch of their buddies around you.
no, I cut the damn thing off.
Oh, I know. Still, I mean, the exploder is such a nice little enemy. So easy to make use of against its buddies. But yeah, so are you enjoying the blacklight?
I didn't sign up for a rave.
Aw.
Fair. Ooh, at least we're steadily getting more munitions back for the pulse
I wish I
rifle.
could talk to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And I have a kitty cat cuddled up, but thanks to me.
I wish I could just talk to someone.
Yay.
It's all
He's
falling
enjoying
apart
belly
here. I
spaces.
just can't believe what's happening. It's strange. Such a little thing. In the end, it all comes down to just one little thing. I didn't want it to end like this. I really wanted to see you again. Just once. I loved you. I always loved you. Loved you.
Don't worry. It's just random physics stuff going wrong. This game is well known for the random, fun things that the physics engine does.
Random physics things don't roar.
Oh, that too. Oof, you know what? I pity the poor cleaning crew that had to come on board and clean this place out. I mean, this is like that that cleaning game. What was it? Wait, what you call it? Visceral cleanup. Yeah, it's like this would be like a solid level on that game. Hey, clean out the entire starship.
Baby!
Oh, I hear a puntable. Oh yeah, that puntable got punted.
Oh Oh dear, and I'm running low on ammo for the plasma cutter now.
Ooh, how are we looking for the other weapons?
Got a full clip for the pulse rifle.
How are we doing for Ripper Blades?
Decent.
Okay, we can probably use the Ripper for a little bit then. It looks like you have almost 30 rounds for that, so each blade will probably kill us a few necromorphs, so... As long as we make good, judicious use of our slowing mod, we should be okay.
What the durability of those things?
Which ones? Oh, yeah, the enhanced ones, yeah, they have more HP and, or I think have, like, some type of, like, damage reduction, but against an actual Ripper, as long as you stun them, you can probably do some good work. But, like, when they just entered, she just focused on the right spots. So for Leapers, you need to cut off either both arms or an arm and the tail. Case in point, with the babies, you need to cut off all three tentacles to kill it.
I would use about 5 seconds before it breaks, depending on where you're using it.
Oh, I mean, as long as it's how long the blade lasts is entirely dependent on the duration rating on you got at the moment. It doesn't matter where it's cutting to.
I feel like part of me wants to go and put some more into the Ripper now because it did end up becoming one of my another workhorse.
I mean, both the plasma cutter and the pulse rifle are solid workhorse weapons. I mean, they do their job well, especially if you give them some TLC. Nice. So we got a good load in each weapon, so we can probably keep focusing on the Ripper for now for usage, so then we can just store up some more munitions. This thing is... Oh, go ahead.
Just to say, now looking at the website, I don't know how I could have missed out on this in the tournament.
Well, there was no reason for us to be seeing that then in the first game, because everything was currently going off at this in a relatively short amount of time. What we saw happen there happened over the course of like maybe 2 to 3 days.
I think that it could have been just hours, though.
No, it wasn't hours. It was definitely, because if you watch the actual movie, you get to see how everything did sort of pop off. You get to see, Dead Space Downfall follows everything from when the colony first set up for the planet Crack, all the way up to the point when Isaac and them actually get on scene. So you get to see how everything went off. It's actually not a bad movie either. I mean, the animation is pretty good quality.
Video game movies are always hit and miss.
Well, this one's not. The animation is like, say, ever seen like?
The first ever power node room I ever come across.
Yep.
Let's see what's in here this time.
Like, have you ever seen like Martin Mystery or like Huntic, like those animated shows?
Martin Mystery, along with Totally Spies, is one of those shows that probably gave a lot of people an awakening to various kinks.
Oh yes,
yeah, I
definitely.
think Totally Spies is one that I've seen. I've not
yeah,
seen
it's sort of like animation in that quality. It's pretty good work.
Oh, when I was saying like video game movies, it's more of like those that are based on video games usually don't do well. I mean with the exception of Free Guy. Was it Free Guy?
Yeah, but you're talking about like the live action ones. Like these are like the animated ones, and usually they have a better track record.
Yeah.
It tends to be the live action stuff that gets the really weird stuff.
Oh, that's because you get into Uncanny Valley.
Yep.
The first iteration of Sonic before they changed it.
But yeah, we should probably definitely have a sit down and watch that at some point because it's pretty good, and I think it's on a few different platforms.
Yep, Sonic and Sonic 2 are some of the best video game movies out there. I'd say that also another one that falls into that spot, Detective Pikachu.
Oh,
Yeah, it
definitely.
really is
Oh,
good.
yes.
I mean, if they had originally released what was going to be the Sonic movie, it would have been a different story, but they actually did give the proper TLC.
Yeah. You know, I have actually seen that some people, like, they're kind of sad they changed it because they wanted to see what kind of dumpster fire the first Sonic would have been, but...
I mean, everyone wants to see the horror that is the dumpster fire.
I don't know.
Well,
I kind of like it that they decided to go, like, the classic design. I mean, nothing wrong with redesigning Sonic, but that was not Sonic.
I mean, have you seen the Chip and Dale movie?
I've not seen it, but I have heard that they actually make ugly Sonic. They actually do him some justice in that movie.
They do him a hell of a justice. He's the whole reason they were able to save the day. Ugly Sonic is a goddamn hero.
I get that some of these footprints here are probably supposed to be my own, but with how much running around I tend to do, there's not nearly as many of them as there should be.
They're probably assuming someone that played the game without deviating from the
So,
path.
a logical impossibility.
I mean, it might not also be ones that weren't yours. It could be like the original people that were on here. But yeah, I do like this section of this game. They do a very good thing when they came with the whole Blacklight stuff.
Never had it get by. I just stepped and work with the others. Another random casualty. Or did they turn me into one of them? Wearing my bloody face, stalking the halls, looking for more victims.
It's a very real possibility, wifey, that that one of those various necromorphs was indeed you, who I in some way or another eviscerated.
Oh, most indeed. I mean, all she did was kill herself with an overdose, so that left the body entirely intact. So, probably an infector came along, and we know what they do.
Yep.
But yeah,
Then
this
again-
isn't. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, even then, with how the last one ended, it's like the spirit of Nicole was still helping you?
Well, I mean,
Maybe the
it's technically the marker signal was helping you.
Oh, probably using Nicole as the avatar.
Yep. Because the thing is, with every person that, like, you're a special case. Usually people would go mad and kill themselves or do any number of, like, things, but you're still relatively sane for what you've been through. So you're one of those unique individuals that were able to actually handle the marker signal. So that's the reason why you and Strauss were able to actually be used to make markers, was because it handled itself well, better in your guys' brains.
Not undamaged though.
Oh no, you're several rounds missing from your magazine. You're not working with a full load these days. But like I said, I do like this section here in this game because it is interesting to be able to look back and see some of the spots you were in before.
You know, it does raise the odd thought. If you were one to actually survive the marker, it's a wonder that they didn't decide to, like, dissect the brain or whatnot and see what truly about you.
Well,
Case.
they probably talk about it, but the thing is, you're sort of the golden goose. Because the thing is with the markers the markers are a source of limitless power. Because there's energy being poured through it, much like, say, the Tesseract in the Marvel movies. They're drawing power from somewhere out in space. So, like in the Avengers movie, they were trying to make use of that for power, but also to make weaponry from it. So in this case, humanity is at a point where they're starting to be oversaturated, and there's not enough to go around. So having a source of limitless power would be a godsend to humanity. That's the reason why they made use of you. That's the reason why the EarthGov was willing to sort of sit in bed, as not really with the Unitologists, but at least make use of stuff from their religion.
True,
I hear you,
in
baby!
the Goose, there are those that are
Baby!
that they would have gone through with it.
Yeah.
Which is the point where I'm surprised no one did. Because there is probably someone out there that would just love to dig it.
Oh, definitely now. Like, it probably would have came up now, but there would have been enough people that would have went, no, stop being stupid.
True, but when has that ever stopped anyone before?
I mean, it has. I mean, there's probably way more people that would be wanting to make use of them rather than to destroy what they have.
That is fair.
I hear you, baby. Where are you hiding, baby?
trying to have you solve a puzzle in this section?
No, I think he's just supposed to get onto the platform and walk off. I think she was just looking for resources.
And any more of those babies.
Yep.
Exiting zero gravity.
Off this damn ship. Great. More PTSD.
Oh yes, this is weird. Oh no, not depression, PTSD.
So sad.
Stop puking on me, bastard!
Yeah, the puker's a right asshole.
This ain't a frat party.
And of course, ooh,
And a
more
fucking
that.
stalker, too.
Not only that, but that's an enhanced stalker, or even clever.
Okay, maybe it is a frat party.
Oh shit, all of these are enhanced. Ew, that's icky.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, this is not good. There's a lot of enhanced assholes here.
Question is, where the hell did an engineer learn to use a gun like this?
This
I
isn't-
mean,
it's not a
it's
gun.
not even a gun. It's an engineering tool. Most of what Isaac used in the first, all of what Isaac used in the first game other than the pulse rifle was engineering equipment.
I mean, he's still, I mean, yes, it can be up to the player, but technically he still survived the night, so technically he had to have at least a decent aim with all that stuff.
I mean, as an engineer, you gotta be careful with where you're welding things from a distance.
Yeah, you know what, I'll give you that.
Like I said, if he was just using just only military weaponry, I would have been like, okay, that's sus, but he's just using stuff that's part of his trade.
I mean, it would be an engineer that could turn engineering tools into viable weapons,
Oh, definitely.
since they would have the know-how to do so, knowing how they tick.
Yep, and like I said, this just harkens back to something I mentioned later now. Like, if you want cutting edge new shit, go with military stuff. I mean, with military grade stuff. But if you want stuff that's tough, durable, and gets the job done, industrial grade. Because you know, some asshole made use of all the new fancy shit that was done there now to make tools that actually got the job done at a good quality. Without killing the bank, of course, but that's besides the point.
Thank you for identifying Ishimura archive footage logs that could potentially contradict the official storyline of its demise at Aegis 7. It is critical that no word of the artifact's recovery ever be surfaced to the public. It is disturbing that such
Yeah, we should
records
definitely
still
work on that
exist
ripper
this
more.
many years after the incident.
So isn't
We
there
walked
a
out our
saying as
research
well
team's
that just
access,
because it's
and
new
we'll
and
be
shiny doesn't
replacing
mean
them
it's
with
better?
Earth-based specialists
Yeah,
effective
yeah.
immediately. Please contact me once the replacements arrive.
I don't know if it's a saying, but it's like a general consensus in some cases.
Yeah, just because it's new doesn't mean it's better.
Just like how their new phones decided we're gonna blow up on you
Yeah.
in that debacle.
Alright. right. The new phones with the whole incident back a while ago, where something wrong with the batteries actually made the batteries go boom.
Yep,
It's
and
bad
we're talking
enough
about.
that planes banned them.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's those Samsung line of phones, and it was their lithium batteries, which is why it was so bad, because lithium is nasty.
Oh no, I wouldn't say that. Or I wouldn't disagree with that because, I mean, you basically need a special chemical to put out a lithium fire.
Exactly, that's the reason why it was so dangerous, is because lithium fires are nothing to scoff at. It's a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, isn't actually a specialized foam or whatnot you can actually put out lithium?
It's probably not a foam, it's probably a powder.
I recall there was a special chemical.
Yeah, there's probably a chemical that's needed to neutralize it. But like I said, it's probably a powder rather than a foam.
Yeah, it might have been oxidized copper. I know it was
I possibly. It's been a while since I last did chemistry stuff, so I don't know what would be the adequate neutralization compound. Ah, there you go. There's a bunch of little Tic Tacs in there.
And I'm hearing more babies.
Oh yeah, there's an
Class D fire extinguisher. What?
Yep, a Class D.
Is it a Class D?
Jeez, I've
well,
been going for this is a long chapter.
Well, Class D is a classification of fire extinguisher. There's a whole list of different chemicals that can be used in one. It's not like, say, I believe a Class A would be the water one.
Activate the tethers.
All right. The centrifuge looks full to full power from here.
Great. Let's hope this works. It'll be tight. You ready?
All set. I'll wait for your signal.
Well, I believe you're near the end of this wonder now, because you just need to go activate it, and then you're going to be shooting yourself off in one of these escape pods here.
Oh, it's powdered graphite, granular sodium chloride, or copper-based. So I was right with the copper. I was right with the copper then.
Yep.
As one of them.
Yeah, so Class D, I believe, would be dry chemical.
Yeah, dry powder, graphite, granular sodium chloride, and copper. One of the three.
Yep.
And it's one that probably not everyone's gonna literally have.
Nope, that is one that's going to be in a specialized workplace.
Yep.
Time to go.
So go and pop into one of the escape pods, man. Find one you like and get on in.
Okay.
Fuck off,
So-
wifey.
But congratulations, Nate. You just completed the Ishimura section.
Plazo.
So get ready to become a pinball.
Great.
I'm away.
Don't worry, I don't think you need to do anything, but it's not going to be
We
fun.
crossed the track, but we're coming in hot. I just need you to see what I see, Ellie.
I mean, escape pod drops are never fun.
I mean, Nate is technically pulling off a Dead Space ODST drop into the side of a building. Isn't that?
Bless you.
Lock her up, engineers.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Isaac, are you there? You're right, Isaac. The Ishimura is incredible.
And congratulations. I think that should be the end of chapter 10.
You made me stick with it. You made me stick with it. You made me stick with
because you should be in the mines now, which would be the name of the next chapter.
Finally, we're getting to Mordor.
It's gonna be okay. I promise. This won't hurt a bit. Not my hard enough to die.
Oh, and Strauss has lost it.
Stick a needle in your eye.
Great.
Don't worry, it's only your one of your allies killing another one of your allies.
Fucking fantastic.
See, it never rains, but it pours.
Chapter 11.
The mines. And then we'll have chapter 12, which I believe is going to be a very short one. Because we're going super villain up in this bitch.
Right, were you planning on finishing the game at this run, or was that a different?
This is the penultimate stream, not the final stream.
Yep. So this will cover 3 chapters, and then we'll have 3 chapters in the final one. Because by the end, we are currently on chapter 11 now, which is the mines.
Oh, I meant on the amount of chapters already done.
Oh, well, we're on chapter 11 now, so we got 10 chapters done. But for this stream now, we've completed 1 chapter.
So 2 more then.
Yep, we have this one, and then we have the drill.
The drill.
The drill. We're going bad, actually bad disaster mode with this shit.
The drill, you say?
The drill. That's both going to be an interesting segment and might be a bit of a pain about. Ooh, I see loot. Ooh, is the window broken?
Looks like it, yeah.
Ooh, so we should be able to use our little kinesis module. Sweet. Sweet. Loot. Good loot. Oh, Nay, how do you feel about stalkers?
Oh, fuck me to Christmas.
Yep.
I mean, that won't take too long.
Hmm? Oh, we have the stalker brazier, and these are the enhanced ones too.
I actually went and used a nullifier on that one just to make sure I got his leg.
Ooh, that's a good point. I mean, like, so these guys, their Achilles heroes are their legs. Take one off and they're bloody useless. Ooh, at least they coughed up some good goodies.
Yep.
And we know when you hear one stalker, there's more.
Oh fuck, baby!
Hey, remember now the stalkers are like raptors. Oh yeah, I forgot the babies. Shit, I forgot the babies can talk up there. Never underestimate the game's ability to weaponize babies, apparently.
Baby!
You have to give it to the necromorphs. They do find good ways of making use of their resources. Although, good God, you have to question the sanity of the guy that came up with those two creations.
I mean, to be fair, I can kind of understand where they might be coming from with that. I mean, I question my sanity when I think of some of the things I've come up with.
Oh, Sam.
Because I'm sure Carl can attest when I mentioned the name Cazador Queen.
I know I'm nudging thoughts.
And then there's my little pet project, the Shattered.
Nice.
Burn it. Burn it all.
Why? I don't know. What? Okay, sure.
Why did you do it, Strauss?
No question. Just burn.
Okay.
What can't you face? What's the last step?
Oh look, sounds like your buddy Strauss found you.
Afraid that I'd face her and destroy the marker. But it's too much. You have to help. You need to see step 3.
Strauss!
Hey look, it sounds like Strauss is still holding on to his sanity. Not.
I was about to say, boy, you think that's saying the fuck is wrong with
Saying that Strauss is sane is like saying Satoshi is sane.
You know what?
You're not wrong. Also, just gonna warn you, be ready for button prompts.
How can anyone be sane with at least 3 different voices in their head? Is it 3? I have
3.
4 at this point.
4.
I don't know how many you have. I can't remember at this point.
There's the entity, the boys, the good side, and not so far.
And like, if you count the mini sooner type of thing you said was in there. Yeah.
Ah,
And
whoops.
just intentional.
I misjudged. Okay, I think it's a door coming up when that happens. But just to warn you, there are some goodies out in the distance around you. Ooh, paranoid, nice. But yeah, I think this damage here was caused by when Tideman went, I'm just gonna go and Helios 1 your butt. So he was rather, liberal with the use of his solar beam attack.
This is liberal.
Yep.
I hate to see how it'd be much worse.
Oh, don't worry, you'll see it.
And we're back to the space pimples again.
Oh yeah, there's lots of space pimples. Like I said, they're just a natural addition on top of the corruption you see around. Because they're designed to cover areas that saw high traffic as a way to ensure that the necromorphs claimed more lives, thereby more biomatter so that they can make more shit.
And that's usually how you shit.
Uh-huh.
Gotta get the fire.
Okay, here might be where I'm thinking of, is be ready for button prompts. Fuck, my memory is just bad for some segments in this one. I'm just gonna say you're gonna come across Strauss at one of those doors. I forget now which door it is, but you will come across him at one of those doors. And it's gonna be one of those rapidly tap the button dealios.
Is it because he comes at you with a nice pick?
Yeah, he's gonna try and do to you what he did to Ellie. He's trying to ventilate your brain. You know, you gotta have some way to get rid of the excess heat up there.
Yep, there is a way to blow off all that steam. It's called rapid fire.
Yep. Ooh, you're doing good on credits. Like, remember, you only need 3,600 to get the next suit. As long as you're wearing the original one, which you already have in your bank. So that's the original vintage suit. So you get that nice 10% discount.
And it's past the board, but probably.
Might be. This is a bigger area. I think you gotta deal with a power cube in this area.
Even though I've not watched anything on this. Oh, that was an actual lucky shot.
Ooh, nice. You were saying?
I've not looked into this since it's still pretty much a blind play for me, but I've seen enough of the internet to know of that most infamous scene.
Yep, but that scene you're speaking of is gonna be in the next stream, because that's in the second last chapter. So yeah, so you need to go down below at some point to go and move, I believe, a power cube over into a new slot, because I think the one that's currently into it's burnt out. So as soon as you pull one of those out, I think that'll spawn a group of mobs against you. So I think there's maybe 2 or 3 trigger points in this area. Oh, and I think it's this door here that I'm thinking of, where he's gonna try and ask you a question, or well, actually, no, get you to pick a question for him.
Well,
But you just
needed so.
I mean, he finds an interesting way to get that helmet off of you.
Yeah, that ended up paying off.
Indeed, indeedy. And the beauty of that puke, like the ranged one, not the big old conical spew it does. It only slows you down. The little projectile does, whereas the full-on conical one does actually hit your HP. Although if you're quick, you can catch that little spear of puke it throws at you, and makes a very nice attack. Oh, there you go. That's the thing you gotta go down to.
And just need to figure out a way to get down there.
Back to where you came.
I think I see. Oh, it looks like a ramp.
Yep, there's a ramp down. So I think there might be a trigger point at the bottom of that ramp for more mobs. That's the way that they handled the first two games. Everything is based off of trigger points. So until you actually advance, you're not going to spawn in any more enemies.
Okay, once again, I thought you said anime there. You're not gonna spawn any anime?
Bad baby. enough saved up to. Ow! more and more at me.
Attention shift workers. Be mindful of the nearest survival chamber. These are your only hope of survival should a cave-in occur.
There you are, Isaac. We've been waiting for you. Now it's your turn. Oh God. Ellie, step 3. Ellie.
You owe me an eye, you bastard!
Oh, great. Oh, great, oh, great, oh, great. Now, this one's for real, ain't it? Oh, let go of me! Dick!
Ellie lied. She won't help. But you will, Isaac. You'll see her after step 3.
Isaac, he's run off. Deeper into the mines.
I've got problems on this end too. Get somewhere safe.
I'll try.
Ah!
Oh, well, lovely area, right?
I'm back.
I'm back.
I see you got pulled into space.
Space.
So you meant this game's Tentacle Chan?
Hello, I am Tentacles. I am Tentacles. Do you want to be my friend?
I'm gonna take a pass on that. course I couldn't.
You know, after all this stuff, I think it's about time you retire, Isaac. Have a nice, peaceful life in Yeah, we know that's not gonna happen.
Ellie, I'm back inside. Where are you? Where's Strauss?
I'm safe for now, but he's lost it. I think he's coming for you. I found something you're gonna want to see. Here's my location. Oh, hurry and get here. I'm not in any shape to be fighting.
I'll get there as soon as I can. Stay safe.
Ah, you're back out of space. And don't forget you can make good use of your grenade launcher.
Whoa!
Oh my. Put a grenade launcher on the computer.
Whoop! Danger close. That was on me.
You gibleted yourself.
Ay. more of those. Oh well.
I think May does save her VODs up on a YouTube channel, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, like I said, I asked it there because I didn't know if it was something that you just kept as a personal archive or what you let others see.
It's publicly viewable and open if someone wants to watch it.
Accepting. Not really. I'm not going to go there.
You're doing pretty good so far.
Attention shift workers. Your work practices are being monitored at all times. Please show pride in your work.
Would you be able to link the channel after stream?
The advanced suit.
That's gonna be that's the new one. So before you buy it, put on the normal vintage suit, then buy it for 36,000. But congratulations, you found a final suit. And you got a spazzing body in the door.
Worry about.
Congratulations, Nay.
Yeah, first I need to get to a shop.
Yep. But like I said, so as long as you get the put on the vintage suits first, you'll get it for 36,000. Otherwise, it's 40 grand. And it's best to save where we can.
Yep, I should have enough for it either way, but yeah, save where we can. See a save point down there.
There you are! Oh, Sauce, what are you doing? You have to face her for me! Tell her I didn't mean to do it! Sauce, it's me! See her! It's Isaac! Tell her! Strauss! Step 3! Step 3! Oh god. Why did you do it, Strauss?
Well, as a standard procedure.
Ah, okay, so you managed to eliminate Strauss, even if it was regrettably. But it was either him or you. Now be sure to pick up the log off of him.
I want you to stop. Please forgive me.
And now you get to hear about his demons.
Welcome to the effing club, Strauss.
Oh yeah. I mean, you were the first one to join the club. He was the second member. But yeah, Ailey lost her eye. And a nice little ice pick you found.
Nice to meet you.
Ah!
Shut up! Just shut up! The marker? It was you. You made me do it. You made me kill it. Didn't you?
We should be still haven't come to terms with who I am. Who am I, Isaac? I will ask you one more time before the end. Be ready.
Whatever you say, Marker. Okay, give me a bloody shot already.
You remember this place? Or, well, a place like this? Yeah, you might want to be careful. Remember, there's no covering on top of this cart. Good usage of the pulse rifle. There's a lot of people on this elevator.
out of ammo for the pulse rifle.
Hey, at least you have your other weapon. Ooh, actually, the Ripper probably would clean up in here. But yeah, not against one of the enhanced assholes.
Seeker shells.
Ooh, hey, look. You're up to the level you were going to. Might want to try reloading your pulse rifle. Ooh my, you're sitting on a lot of Ripper and line gun rounds. So, you survived the elevator of hell.
Oh, come on!
One shred, one light, one bright shining star you couldn't do in this universe. Everybody guilty. Pressing the life out of you because you can't get over the fact that I'm dead and you're responsible. Why do you keep fighting me? Why can't you let go?
Because you are my everything. And if I let you go, I've got nothing left.
Step 4. Acceptance. Now you're ready to finish this.
Congratulations, you got to step 4.
Isn't acceptance generally step 5?
I think yes. Well, let's do a save first before we go shopping.
Oh, I guess it's using the 5 stages of grief.
Maybe. In this case, I think they're going off of a different model. Because this is something specific you're doing here now. You, a ruby, and what else? Ooh, look, and a gold. Nice. We could probably also deal with them selling off some line gun and some Ripper blade. And definitely those Seeker rounds.
Okay.
Remember to change the suit as well.
Yep, change to vintage, and then we go off and we have our nice discount. You're gonna like the advanced one, and then we also get to change it for one of the advanced alternate ones, which is yay. But you need to at least pick up the advanced one to gain the benefits of the stuff over for all of them.
That's the plan.
So the original vintage, a nice looking suit still.
Here it is, the advanced suit. Stasis bonus. Stasis recharge time is reduced by 50%. That makes it tempting to just wear that one straight out.
Yep, but I think there's some other decent, different advanced ones out there.
Yep, but this is the big one. 25 inventory slots and 20% armor.
Yep, and it'll do that thing for all the DLC ones you got to. But yeah, there you go. So we can get into that with our nice 10% discount. Most indeed, very snazzy. So that's basically a military model you got on.
Which means we're looking at things like, well, 3 of them. They got the hazard suit, additional 10% healed when using med packs, the agility advanced suit, stasis duration is increased by 10%, and the shock point suit, a 5% decrease in stasis recharge time. I don't know. I mean, the 50%, this advanced suit with a 50% stasis recharge reduction sounds pretty nice. Again, encourage me to use stasis more.
Indeed.
The only other option is the hazard suit, which means I get more out of my med packs.
Both are good options, so what shall we go with?
I'm not sure. I mean, I've already adjusted to make it into to things as they are with med packs, but at the same time, sometimes it feels like I'm okay. I'm out of med packs, and I've already also adjusted to not using stasis that much because I haven't put much, into stasis. I suppose the hazard suit is it makes the med packs go longer. But at the same time, if I use stasis more, I can maybe try and make it so I don't get hit as much because I have more time to shoot. So it's preventative versus reactive. Which is the best one to go for in this case? Preventative measures, trying to get into how to using stasis more, or the reactive, just making it so my med packs are more effective. I'm really not sure.
I mean, both are good options.
Well, with stasis, if you have more time and using it more, not only does it give more time to aim, it's less ammo wastage.
Just
than wildly shooting.
Yeah, I think I'll stay with the advanced suit with the agility with the stasis bonus.
Yep. And now we can also go and pick up a bunch of power nodes.
Yep, I can go back down to my 10k 10k barrier.
Yep. Which means we'll have 9 we can mess with. Well, so we have 1 in reserve.
Yep. Another save.
I mean, theoretically, we could always swap into our vintage one whenever we go and buy a bunch of nodes, but that's a lot of back and forth thing. But that would make it very nice because for the same amount, you'd be able to get 11 nodes instead of 10. But yes, onward to this.
Okay. Ripper now has full duration and damage. Got a lot from that one.
Oh yeah. I think we're good for the Ripper for now, because the reloading capacity, I mean, we're still doing pretty good on that. So we can probably go back to giving love to the line gun then.
Yep, either the line gun or the rig if I want to get more air and HP. But we haven't had that many air things, and the 2 minutes we started with, which is what we got after fully upgrading the air from the first game, certainly has done us good.
Well, an interesting point to bring up, though, is now that we have the advanced suit and the bonuses, we could actually look into powering up the stasis module.
Fair.
So, like I said, the stasis module is one where, in order to get all the stuff in it, you'd have to go and use all the nodes.
Yeah.
But we could go first off and just pick up, like, the first 2 durations.
I'm thinking what I want more is energy, so I have more shots.
So then we just need 5 to get to that.
Energy.
So that would give us 4 shots before we're all tapped out.
Yeah. Then probably charge
Fury.
next.
Ooh, charge? Okay.
Because, you know, I don't exactly always have stasis packs on hand, so having it recharge on its own faster helps.
Oh, most indeed.
Then we can worry about duration.
Indeed. But all in all, it shouldn't be too bad of one, because we need, what, 5, 9, 10, 11. We need 12 nodes in total. That's doable, because we got this chapter, and, well, what's left of this one, and then the next one after that. Then we have the 3 last chapters, so we definitely have enough time to pick up some more.
Yep. Then we can go into the line gun.
Indeedy, indeedy.
Start with capacity, alt fire damage, width, reload. Go speed along, capacity, width, across, damage, and duration to get the shortened timer on the alt fire.
Oh, without a doubt.
Then from there we can go and get the rest of the alt fire nodes.
Yep.
And we'll get width along with it and a bit more damage.
Indeed, indeedy.
Because I'm using that primarily for the alt fire.
Oh, yes. The timeline is beautiful.
Okay.
So, another save, and we should be good.
Yep.
So, we have 3 solid weapons right now.
Uh-huh.
Which is very good. We'll definitely need that for the drill chapter.
Speaking of which, we just hit chapter 12.
Nice.
Last chapter of this stream.
Nice.
Yep. This one, I think, like I said, is a shorter one. So, you see that big old thing in front of us? We need to fix it up, and we're going to drill our way into government sector. So we're going to be on top of that, and it's going to be a timed thing, so we're going to be traveling, and we're going to be attacked by a lot of necromorphs.
Dragged away before he could finish fixing this.
So we need a lot of good ammo for this section.
Oh, I'm not sorry about that. So what happens now? I thought you needed Stross to destroy the marker.
Strauss couldn't lead us to the marker. He was running away from his guild.
What about you?
I'm not running anymore. I know what I have to do. Well, this drill's a stroke of good luck finally. Why don't you get up to the cab to try to get it started? I'll look for the other power cell.
All right. See what I can do from up here.
So yeah, so we're just going to be in this little area getting it fixed up, so that's not going to take too long to do, but there's going to be a lot of enemies here, including the return of the Claw Kitties. And the pimples. Yeah, this is the way I said we're going super villain up in this shit. We have a giant ass industrial drill.
Is it the drill that will pierce the heavens?
Oh, heaven piercing giga drill.
Oh, thank God you actually know.
You actually know about Area 11? Nice.
Well, I assume Gurren Lagann.
Oh no, I'm talking about the actual song, Heaven Piercing Gigadrill.
I thought you were talking about Gurren Lagann.
Well, I think the song is in reference to that, actually.
Yeah, because it's like I believe the like, Giga Drill Break. It's the drill that will pierce the heavens.
Yeah, like I said, I think that song is technically in reference to that one, because the group that actually wrote it, I don't think you need to go across there yet. I think you gotta go down to that box or two before and plug the power node from it, or the power cube. Oh, okay, you might be in the spot you're looking for.
I spied what should probably have the power node, but exploration.
Oh yes. Well, I think you had to come over here anyways because there's another component that was gonna burn out when you put in the other cube. I believe it's over here. Ah, there it is, off to your left in that machine. So you rip out the... There you go. You would have needed a thing from there, which I think you need to walk up and pick up.
About to say, but yeah. I always love Gurren Lagann.
So grabbing it ahead of time.
Yep.
I'm curious, have you seen Gurren Lagann, Scorpio? That's another thing we need to add to the list.
Get off!
Dude, that one is actually a rather nasty death stone. He rips your helmet off and just pours a bunch of acid down your throat.
Oh, what a lovely, gentle person.
Yeah, he sort of mama birds you, really. But instead of it being like a mother feeding their little chick, he's just killing you.
But yeah, Scorpio, that is like the final boss of Gurren Lagann. He looks...
So yeah, Nate, I think you just cut off an entire pain in the butt you would have had to deal with.
Yeah, the circuit junction just shorted out.
Because you were going to have to rush up there and get that through a big old wave of claw kitties.
Well, no, not now.
Right.
But watch it behind you, you're going to have a bunch of enemies attack now.
It doesn't recognize the new junction.
I think I've got it from up here. What? I didn't hear
Actually,
you.
you might be okay here.
Nothing.
I did it! I got it started. There, there's a lift on the other side. I'll turn around, you can get on.
Oh, if you let it turn around, so you might want to get out of the way of the blades. But it's pivoting right now. Ah, here's the claw kitties. Good thing the claw kitties have a glass shell that can Yep, now you have to go up on the elevator. You're just raking in the kills right now. This might continue until you actually get to the elevator.
way to build up ammo before moving.
Oh, fair. I mean, everything's dropping good stuff, and since we have the upgraded Ripper, every single blades is doing all the work for us. Nope, nay, the elevator's down by the actual drill itself. That's the reason why it turned around, it was giving you access to the elevator. So you gotta go back down to where you were before.
Well, just gives me a chance to get more ammo from all these things.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, it's a good thing that these enemies do have a glass jaw, like there's no tomorrow. Like, so much as even a small nick with the upgraded Ripper just insta-get them. I mean, hell, even the plain Ripper insta-get them. Oh, look, you avoided that slasher. So now this entire chapter is drilling through a bunch of stuff now, which includes a bunch of necromorph while defending this drill from a bunch of enemies. So good thing you did stock up on munitions when you did, because this level is not easy. But there's also a lot of good loot you can get on either side of you, usually high up on like some ledges. But there's also a lot of the babies with the tentacles to it that like crop up. So you will need some ranged weapons too.
If there's this many down here, how many do we think are above us?
Ah, case in point, those are health packs. So this is the reason why I said this chapter was going to be a short one, because it is just fix drill, then get on drill, and then get health. So it's much like that one that we had the one-off after the bioprocess. I'm gonna probably make short work of these guys. Now, an interesting thing, you can knock them into that blade in front of you, and it will instantly explode. Oh, it will.
So, don't get too close to the
Looking back on stuff and going like on now, check out how big the final goal was in the movie.
Yep.
Over the size of 100 universes.
Looks like you're holding up well. This is so late, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. Those
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Stop! Stop!
And the thing is, I don't think there's any autosaves
Looks like
during
Rick's
this little
Foundation
encounter,
plans with the
so
government
if
sector.
you were to actually drop
So how do we
dead
get
at
in
some
there?
point, you'd have to... Oh, okay, cutscene.
Straight ahead. We do have a giant drill.
You know I'm right on top of this thing, right?
And congratulations, Nay. You just beat the drill chop.
Well, we can compare bruises later.
How are we gonna get in? Oh, we have a
But
giant
at least
drill.
we made it, right?
I'm on top of this thing.
And this is most
Oh, it'll
definitely
be
government
fine.
sector. And I'm guessing that marker of yours is behind that huge door over
Congratulations,
there.
Nay. You beat 3 chapters this session.
Oh.
There's gotta be an elevator or something connecting the
You want a
source.
cool drill? Wait till you see go in Lagan. So I one
Alright,
of
I'll
the
meet you
series
halfway.
that I effing love.
No worries.
The anime I've been binging currently has been My Hero Academia.
Oh, that's pretty good. Where are you?
Most recent thing, Deku and the others just had their encounter against against what was the name he was calling himself again?
Oh, the guy with all the hands?
No.
Shigaraki.
No, not Shigaraki. The mafia guy, mafia guy.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the one basically wearing a plague doctor mask.
That guy has a scary power.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had our first chance to meet Lemillion.
Yeah, Lemillion's cool too.
So, let's go find a save station and then we'll be okay.
Have you met Ari, I think his name is?
Who?
The little girl.
Yeah, she's safe.
Oh, so they just beat him.
Yeah.
I love that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was so satisfying getting to see a chance to see what Deku looks like when he's capable of going full 100% power.
Mm-hmm. And Ari is so goddamn adorable.
Oh, indeed. The last episode I left off on was them about to take her to the UA school festival.
Oh, that is a great arc.
You might want to powder the game now, because there are some enemies that spawn here.
Oh, Overhaul, that's his name.
Because the thing is, you just open up a way for the necromorphs to get to government sector.
Oh.
So that big old tunnel you just made, they're going to be following you through it.
Well, even with all that, still, that was it. We got through the 3 chapters we needed.
Indeed, indeedy.
So that means the next one, the next one, this time next week, will be the finale for Dead Space 2.
Indeed.
Barring we found out that, oh, holy crap, this actually is the one that has DLC attached to it. If it is, then there will be a little bonus stream sometime afterwards. If it isn't, then we'll just go on to Dead Space 3.
Yep, because Severed is only 2 chapters, so that's basically not even... Well, it's going to be a short stream.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't think there is, because I didn't see it in the listing for the one for the Steam one there now, but at least for the third one, the Awakening DLC is there, because I did pick that one up.
Now, let's see. Who is currently streaming that we can go raid? Oh, been a while since I've been able to give Shadow a raid.
Oh, Shadow's actually streaming.
Yep, he's doing a little bit of a holiday stream of Dead by Daylight.
Ah, neat.
Well, of course, this holiday is, which basically means playing as a survivor wearing one of those quote unquote ugly Christmas sweaters.
Sure.
Now, once again, let's make sure that I spell the name right. Because, yeah, kind of hard to rate someone when you're not spelling their name right. Well, first I want to thank everyone who came by to join me in the call. Orsk, nickname Carl Scorpio.
Hey, I'm always happy to join in.
And to everyone who came by to watch, I hope you had a good time and enjoyed yourselves.
Always.
The next time we come back here, again, it's gonna be the finale, and well, as far as the next stream this weekend, since my usual stream day is usually typically on Sunday, and Sunday happens to be Christmas. I've talked about this part a little bit at the end of the last stream. So there is some good news. The little test run I did, that ended up working well because I have it running on the low settings. But so far, Saints Row 4 has been running smoothly on my computer. I've got to the point where I have access to the Saints Save Christmas DLC. So any additional work I put in from this point forward is just going to be to progress and level up my character, so I can just have my my Saint be more of a badass when it comes to saving Christmas. So it is looking like we will be having next time a very special holiday stream of Saints Row 4, How the Saints Saved Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I must ask, which voice did you use?
I went with female 1.
I went with that special male voice.
Nolan North.
Yeah, of course I had to go with Nolan North.
I mean, he's got a very nice voice.
Yes, and as funny as Zombie is, you can't understand it.
But yeah, we'll be getting to that next time. So until next time, I hope you all take care and have a good time. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Raid is ready to go through in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye now.